Hi, I'm Josh from PSC Motorsports. Today we're going to be putting a steering gear on an F250. This steering gear goes on F250s, F350s from 2011 to 2022. Our first step is we pull out the inner fender so that we can get to the top of the gearbox easier to undo the lines in the input shaft. Just like that. First step is we pop this plastic cover up. You pull it up out of the way. Next step is 18 millimeter for these lines. Bust them loose. Both of these are 18 millimeters. There she is, she's free. So your next step is to bungee cord the steering wheel so you don't break the clock spring, so it don't rotate while you have the steering gear off. I usually just connect it underneath the seat frame. The next step is the input shaft, and that should be a 13 millimeter. Now we separate the input shaft from the gearbox. And we're free. We gotta remove this cotter pin. So go ahead and grab it, pull it on out. Right? And then you remove this little castle nut. And then that's gonna be a 22. We'll remove this bolt, and this bolt, and your gearbox is free. With the steering gear out, you can remove the Pitman Arm with a Pitman Arm puller and install it on your new PSC gear. You take your Pitman Arm and the supplied nut, you line up the splines. It should slip right on when you line up the splines. You take your supplied nut, put it on there. I like to zap it down with the impact, and then when you get it on the truck, you torque it down to 225 foot-pounds. The O-rings that are supplied with the kit, you pop off your factory ones, and you slide in the new O-rings. You pop off your old O-ring, you take your new one that's supplied in the kit, and you just slip her on. And now you're ready. He's installing the high pressure hose first, and then he's going to install the low pressure hose. The intermediate shaft then can be reattached to the steering gear. Make sure it is fully seated and the bolt is in the groove. So now we're going to put the castle nut on there. Make sure she lines up and everything. Put your cotter pin through there. And your drag link's now secure. We're running our 729 flushing oil through here because Ford from factory runs ATF as power steering fluid. It's one thing if it's a trail fix, but it's not the fluid we suggest with our kits. So we're going to run this through there. It is slow to drain, but you can hear the bubbles now. What we want is to get all the old fluid out of the system. With the front of the vehicle supported on a jack or some stands, fill the reservoir with some fluid and the engine off and begin to work the steering wheel back and forth from lock to lock. Want to fire up? Clear. Top off the fluid, reinstall the inner fender, and test drive the vehicle. For information on this kit or any of our components, head to pscmotorsports.com.